Alrighty, Carnage is now inspecting. I'm doing a fret dress over here. I just, these were, what do you call it? Fret sprout. Now they're nice and smooth. What I used to do those is one of these files. It's kind of hard to see. It's a very fine, these actually came out of my dad's hardware store from some kind of sharpening machine that he had. So these are like 50 years old. These are from the 70s. But they're not cut twice. You see there, you can see it. And they cut really smooth. And you just have to be really careful with the ends that you don't like mar the wood. But with this finish, if I do create a scratch, I can always buff it out and reapply some hard wax oil and you won't even see it. So the next step is to tape the fretboard off and then dress the little ends. So when you file these off, there's always going to be a little bit of, there's a little, it's really hard to see. There's a little square nib, and those can pop up, and they're not too bad. But you'll see that we have to make this again flat because we took off a little bit of the metal there. So we're gonna tape this off, and then we're gonna fix that. And let's see, what is Carnage over here doing? I don't know. Oh, he's sitting in the window. Yeah. So that's his favorite spot. And he said the heck with you and your work. So see you guys later. All right, everybody. So I have taped off the fretboard. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a fret dress. We're going to round off the ends. And then we're going to polish the frets. To tape this off, I use this contraption with different sizes of tape. And this saves me probably, I can tape in half the time that I normally do because I don't have to go and cut tape and try and squeeze it in. It works really well and goes really quick. So if you ever do this kind of stuff, having this kind of tape, and you can use just plain old painter's tape, that works really great for this part. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this file here. This is a fret dressing file. Sorry, I've got to get better at this video stuff. And it has a very fine, it's almost like a diamond edge. And then what we do is we run it, okay, down the edges here, and we round that off so that when you play, you don't catch your fingers on the edge. So let me do that. And then after that, we're going to polish with, this is called micro mesh, and this is a complete series of grits. So it goes from 1500 all the way to 12,000, and these babies will shine really nice. And then I got this color-coded thing so that I don't screw up and do like the red after the gray and screw things up. So other thing is when you clean your fretboard, I use a very soft, these are like Dent Tech or something like that, a very soft new toothbrush. And then I take, this is naphtha. Naphtha is lighter fluid. And you just put a little naphtha on the fretboard, and then you scrub it up with this and just wipe it off. And I'll show you after I do this because some of this glue on the tape might stay, and I didn't clean the fretboard before we taped it. But the next part will be, I'll show you how the frets look, and then we'll show you how to clean it. So See you guys in a bit. So hey everyone, just want to give you a very crude drawing of what we're doing. Sometimes the drawing is easier. You really can't see these frets with this camera, and I apologize for that. So when we first put the frets on, we file down the frets to a 35-degree angle. This is a side view of the fret, and you'll see this here. And then you've got these little tiny knife edges here, and they'll be here and here. And what you want to do on a fret dress is you want to remove those little knife edges here and here with and then this area here will be a little bit sharp. So what you want to do is take your file and just run it very so slightly. So it doesn't take much work. Maybe when you first dress them, you might go twice with the file. And the file is angled. It's very hard to see here. The file is angled, plus one side is smooth, and then this side is smooth, and then these sides. So you can get into that spot with the file and get that out of there. So what will happen is the fretboard will be here, right? And then you might get a little bit of, it would move. So if the fretboard shrinks, you might get a little bit of a sharp edge there, and that's going to really hurt your fingers if you do that. Also, we cleaned up this area when I did that's the fret sprout, and then these will be knife edges too, and really kind of hard on your hands. So we clear this area up, and then we clear this area up, and then they look round on the ends, and then what we'll do is we'll buff this out with our micro mesh stuff, and then we'll treat the fretboard with oil. So here it is. We've done the ends. You probably can't see it. Everything is flat with the fretboard, and everything is smooth. We can't feel anything sticking out. And next step is going to be doing the micro mesh. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, everyone. Hopefully you can see this setup. This is the first time I've been doing this kind of stuff, so just give me a little break there. So what we're going to do now that we've dressed the fret ends with our fret end dressing file, and we've taken out the fret sprout with this, now what we're going to do is we're going to use our micro mesh. If these were new frets, I would start at 400. And with this Mirka sandpaper. And I would do the exact same thing. I would just start at 400. Since these have already been polished, I've been using them, they're not really scratched up. We're going to start with the 1500, the rust, and we're just going to polish them up. Now, what I do is, make sure you can see this, is there's really three facets on these frets. There's the top, which is the main part that you want to get polished, and then there's the edges here. So I do a process, is I drag, and you feel how it's, I drag the, to get the sides of the frets, like that. So just drag it back and forth. And I think the guy says it's like, takes 5 times to get it done, so. Just like that. And then I grab the tops, and I just do this. Yeah, pretty simple. It's just sanding. Just sanding metal. Stainless steel frets, I like them. They're more forgiving. If you have nickel frets, just make sure you don't press down too hard. And this will do the same thing. You'll also get more waste, like there's a the metal, the shavings will come off. Now once I do that, I go through and I get the edges, the ends that we just took the edge off, like I showed you in the picture, and then we make sure we get those. Same process. Just like that. Now sometimes you want to take your pad and make it into a curve, and that will let you hit all the spots that you need to hit. And that's pretty much it. Then you just work your way through these. See, here's the fuzz that comes off. It's just metal shavings that are really tiny. Pretty much like that. And then we go to green. We just go right down the thing, and you keep the same system of what you do. So clicky click. That's a technical term, by the way. Like that. Catch the ends, and the tape is protecting the wood and the fretboard. Although at the end here, we're going to take the tape off and catch these little nibs, the tags that are on the frets. But I'll show you what we do there. So I'm not going to put you guys through all of this sanding, because I hate watching sanding videos. I know how to sand already. I don't need to teach you how to do that. So once I'm finished this, I'll show you what the last steps are and what the outcome is. So before we go, this is kind of how they look now, but they should be sparkly when we're done. So get you on the other side. All right, guys, or everybody. So we have taken the tape off. We have polished all the frets. I'm not sure if you can see this. It's see if I can get it in there. It's hard to see, but they are really shiny. And now what we need to do is clean the fretboard of the gunk from playing. Best thing to use is naphtha. This you can get at any big box store, but it's the same as lighter fluid. So if you don't want to buy this much, you know, I use it all the time. This is safe on pretty much most finishes. Always test it, you know, in a small spot. Also mineral spirits. I use this because it evaporates faster. Mineral spirits evaporates much slower than the naphtha. So both of these are hydrocarbons. So they come off of the hydrocarbon stack, if you guys know what that means. So let me get this out of the way. All right, so your best scrubbing or cleaning is usually a terry cloth towel, a soft one. I use this to buff out the guitars and things like that. I also use it to clean. If you've got some really gunky, you know, around the frets, they can get kind of gunky in this area here. So then I can use a toothbrush, but make sure it's a very soft toothbrush. So it's real simple. You just put a little bit on your terry cloth towel, and then you just scrub the gunk out. This one is not very dirty, but we'll see what we get out of it. And you notice up here it's evaporating already, so that's good. Now it might leave a little bit of residue, and you just wipe that off with a clean part of the towel. Okay. So yeah, see, got a little bit of gunk on there. This is pretty clean. Plus it gets all that, those metal. What do you call them? The metal. They're not shavings. They're really kind of microscopic, but all that metal dirt from sanding the stainless steel frets off. Well, and we just keep going down. This should not affect the finish. In fact, I finish my fretboards with a tongue oil. Tongue oil is really durable and pliable, so it should not have an effect on that. But we're going to reapply the tongue oil based finish I use, which is Odie's oil, and then see, a little dirty. And then here you'll know if you did a good job is your rag will not catch on here. When I first looked at this fretboard, this definitely would happen. It would catch on here. That's kind of how you can tell. You will know if you have fret sprout, because you can feel the sharp edges. So there you go. That's nice and clean. And a little more dirt. You wipe it off with another towel. Make sure you can see all this. And I apologize to you guys. I'm new at video, so I'm going to make some mistakes, But the idea is to get the information out to you and show you kind of what we do here at Severin Guitars to get your guitar ready for you. And we do all this on all of our instruments. We don't send anything out that hasn't been really polished up. And we check everything before we ship it. And so there, that's pretty much cleaned up. Looks much better. So now, I'll see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to get ready to put a little bit of oil on here. I messed up on the finish here. I got a little bit of super glue on there somehow. I don't know. So I buffed that out, and we're gonna you shouldn't even be able to see it, but we'll find out. So let's go. All right, guys, I'm back again to do our last step. Well, I'll show you after I wipe this down. So we use this Odie's oil. It's a hard wax oil on our guitars that don't have any stain in them or dye. Like if we stain a top blue or red, we won't use this. But for a natural, this is all done in Odie's oil. For a natural finish, this Odie's oil is really nice, and it's real easy to touch up. It is tongue oil based, so this is going to be better for your fretboards than, let's say, a lemon oil. A lemon oil that you find at music stores and stuff. That is mostly mineral oil, which never dries, and a little bit of orange oil, or it's orange solvent is what it is. So think of the stuff that in Goof Off, if you've ever seen that product, to clean gum off your shoes. So, so this is almost like honey. So like, see this? It's like, oh, and it smells, oh man, it smells really good. There's no real VOCs, although the solvent for this is orange oil, but this doesn't, it doesn't make me sick. If I smell too much solvent, I have to, even with a mask on, I have to leave for a little bit. So you just stir this up. So this has tongue oil and various waxes in it. And this jar will do probably 20 guitars, I would guess. So it goes a very long way. So we just clean that up. And you don't need much of this. I use a piece of, this is a piece of golf shirt. And it's kind of small, but you really don't even need, like, say, you could just take the XX off of the stirring stick, and that's probably enough to do the entire fretboard. But let's just go ahead and do it. And you really don't have to tape this off. It can, as long as you don't leave it on, it will wipe off of most surfaces. In fact, they've done an entire car, including the paint and the leather and everything, as part of their promotion. But it's pretty good stuff, and it's almost waterproof if it's cured long enough. So you can touch it within a day, but we'll let this sit for probably a couple of days before we use it. We always do that. You got to make sure that your stuff is properly cured. So I want to make sure you guys can see this. And then you just dab it on, and it's like spreading honey. It's almost too easy. So you put this on and make sure you get it in the edges, and you can get it on here. It's not going to hurt anything. Do that spot that I messed up, and look at that. You can't even tell that there was super glue in there. So we'll end up doing just the whole board here by the time we're done. And so I don't know how much that I used there. It wasn't even an ounce. It was like nothing. So probably have to do one more little dip, maybe two. I don't know. But so you just rub it in. Make sure you get into the edges, right? And then you wait. I wait about 90 minutes, and then I wipe it off. So it's kind of like a Danish oil, but it's much thicker. So it doesn't really soak in as much, and it's not as messy because it doesn't run anywhere. So for me, it becomes very easy to use. And Wood loves it. I'm very fond of tongue oil products. I think tongue oil is a much better most oil-based finishes are made out of linseed oil. And linseed oil is a wonderful product, but tongue oil is just a bit harder. It's at the top of the scale of hardness for finishing oils. And linseed oil is right under it. So if let's say tongue oil has 195 rating, linseed oil has like a 190 or 185 rating. So it is a good product, and it's cheaper. The reason most companies use it is it's cheaper, but it is also a very good product. And I have some of that here. I'll show you. So this is a good boiled linseed oil. It goes a long way. All you have to do is keep it shook. It should, as long as you cover it, it should never dry out. And it does a good job. I have finished some fretboards with this boiled linseed oil. This has more linseed oil in it than, say, what you get at the big box stores. So I would not do a Danish oil. It's finish on a fretboard. I just wouldn't do that. But you can, as long as you know what you're doing. So what we're going to do is then do the entire and you can redo this as many times as you want. If you own guitars, I wouldn't buy this to put on your guitar unless you know that it was done with tongue oil, like our guitars, because this stuff is quite expensive. I treat, this is food safe. I treat our cutting boards with it. I treat pretty much anything that might get close to water. It would be a great finish for wooden spoons and things like that. But if you have, let's say, a dye in your wood, when you use a solvent to clean, you may get some of the dye to bleed out over time with this stuff. So I usually use a urethane finish or a different hard wax oil for that kind of thing. So hopefully you guys can see this. And that's it. It's done. Make sure we got all the spots. You get a little piece on the headstock, doesn't really matter. I'll wipe that off here in a second. All right, let's let this dry for about 90 minutes and then we'll see what happens. See you in a bit. So we've let this Odie's oil, this tongue-based finish, not dry. It's not really dry. It's kind of like if you've ever done what do you call it? A Danish oil finish. You do the same thing. You let it soak in, wait a few minutes, and then you just wipe it off until it's all gone. Now the key with this stuff is you got to make sure you wipe off all the excess. So we use, again, terry cloth towels, ones that that are really soft, because you don't want to put any more scratches into it, which we won't with this. And I've got a couple of here. So it will take probably 2 of these to get all the excess off of this neck. And then we'll hit it with a super clean, call it a buffing terry cloth towel, and then it will look great. So let's just get it off of here. And I did both sides, so when you first do this, I do is do an initial wipe to get as much as I can off. And you turn your rag multiple times. And you just work it back. And then what we'll do is we'll come back and we'll focus on the space between the frets and the fretboard. And we'll make sure the gat gets all cleaned off. You don't want to leave any gunk on your fretboard from finishing, because then it's just going to be nastier later. So hopefully you guys can see that. You know, I'm not very good at the video thing, so you guys give me a break here. But we'll learn. And that's what this is all about. And kind of showing you guys what we do to our guitars to make them very playable. So this will be like, I don't know if I'm Scandinavian, and Scandinavians put butter on everything because butter is life, right? So this is like butter. Like butter. Nice sheen here. That's got most of that off. Then I will take like a fingernail. You could take a popsicle stick. This is one of the guitar builder's best tools here. You can put sandpaper on it. You can do all kinds of stuff with popsicle sticks. So you could put that in there in order to get the edges. I usually just use a fingernail, and I just run it on each side of the fret to get any excess out of there, because we don't need it there, you know. And that will save you maintenance farther down the line, because next time you do this or you maintain your board, if you got that gunk in there, it's going to be even worse to clean. So all right, let me finish up this part, and then we'll show you the outcome, and I'll also wipe down the back when we're done. It's essentially the same process. I'm just trying to get the excess off first, right? And flip it around, and then we'll have a buffing at the end. Talk to you guys in a bit. All right, guys, we're back, and we have buffed off all of the Odie's oil, and we're ready to let it dry. We will watch it. You check it what I do is the first day I check it every couple hours and make sure there's nothing weeping out. If you're familiar with Danish oil application, this will happen with Danish oil too. So every couple hours you need to come down, check it, make sure there's no oil weeping out of the pores, which it will. And the way you check if you've wiped off enough stuff is with a clean, dry finger. You just rub it on here, and if you see any marks, then you have to keep wiping. So, like I said, I'll let this dry overnight. Probably a couple of days, but look at that, and it brings the grain out. Ooh, got those blacks and those grays and gray browns from the Wenge fretboard. Gives it a nice little sheen, right? And it also protects it from sweat and water and beer and anything else you might spill on your guitar. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, this is Carnage's brother. Yep, he's his actual brother. They were litter mates. And he's about as silly as Carnage is, although he doesn't come down into the shop much. So he likes to inspect too. He's pretty heavy. He's like 12, 15 pounds. And over here, we've got Mr. Shopcat, the one and only Carnage. He's been sharpening his claws on this mat. Right, buddy? Yeah? Can you say hi to everybody? Huh? Yeah.